It begins with a girl, 21 years old, a Canadian student who dreamed of exploring Los Angeles. Her name was Elisa Lam. On January 31st, 2013, she walked into the Cecil Hotel, a building infamous for its dark history, suicides, and killers who once lived inside. And then, she vanished. Weeks later, her body was discovered in the hotel's rooftop water tank. Guests had been drinking and showering in that same water for days. But what made this story infamous wasn't just the horror of her death. It was the last footage ever recorded of her. A security video from the hotel elevator. In it, Elisa behaves in ways that defy explanation. Pressing multiple buttons, hiding in the corner, gesturing at something or someone invisible. The internet exploded. Was it murder, paranormal, or the tragic end of a young woman fighting her own mind? 10 years later, the questions remain, and the elevator door never truly closes. For years, the story of Elisa Lam haunted the internet, a puzzle pieced together by millions of hands, each one trying to force meaning into the cracks of tragedy. But behind the whispers, the theories, and the shadows, there remained something far less mysterious and far more human. The official report. When the Los Angeles County coroner released the final report, it didn't read like a horror script. It read like heartbreak. Cause of death, accidental drowning. Manner, undetermined. Contributing condition, bipolar disorder. The toxicology screen revealed no traces of illegal substances, only small amounts of her prescribed medications, far below her usual dosage. That meant one thing: Elisa had stopped taking her medication consistently. And for anyone who knows what bipolar disorder can do, that detail speaks volumes. Without her medication, her thoughts could spiral. Mania can make reality distort, blurring what is and isn't real. It can fill the mind with racing fears, sudden bursts of euphoria, voices that sound like truth, and shadows that feel alive. In that state, even a simple building, a hallway, an elevator, can become a labyrinth, and fear can become its own predator. The elevator mystery. Explained investigators later tested the elevator. There was nothing supernatural about it. When multiple buttons are pressed in sequence, especially the hold door button, the elevator remains open for a full 2 minutes. Exactly what happens in the footage. Elisa pressed nearly every button on the panel. Her gestures, strange and frantic, might have been the confused reactions of someone experiencing disorientation or paranoia, perhaps believing she was being followed or trying to escape something her mind had conjured. The invisible figure outside the elevator. Likely no one at all. Just empty space, filled with her imagination, the roof, and the tank. Then came the question everyone asked: how could she reach the roof? Detectives found that the fire escape ladder on the side of the building allowed direct access to the roof. No alarms, no locks. Anyone, guest or intruder, could climb it unnoticed. And the water tanks? They were large, heavy, yes, but not impenetrable. The lids were light enough to be lifted manually. Once inside, it would have been almost impossible to get out again. The walls slick, smooth, and tall. There was no ladder inside, No way to climb back up. It only takes minutes to drown in panic and in silence. The rational picture. Piece by piece, the rational version emerged. Elisa Lam, in a manic or psychotic state, wandered the hotel late at night. She likely found her way to the roof through the fire escape. Disoriented, frightened, maybe hallucinating, she climbed into one of the tanks, seeking calm or escape, or a place to hide. The lid closed, and the water claimed her. It's not cinematic. It's not dramatic. But it's possible. And that's what makes it even more tragic. Because there was no villain, no ghost, just a girl, alone in a city that didn't notice when she vanished into its machinery. The myth takes over. But humans don't accept tragedy so easily. We reshape it into stories that make us feel less helpless. The internet needed ghosts, needed murderers, needed symbols. The Cecil Hotel became more than a place. It became an idea. A cathedral of darkness, where every shadow whispered conspiracy and every creak of the pipes sounded like a scream. Even when the explanations surfaced, medical, mechanical, logical, people rejected them because logic kills the magic and horror gives it life. In forums and YouTube videos, in Reddit threads and documentaries, the legend kept mutating. Elisa became a ghost, a warning, a viral myth shared in 1 million comment sections. The truth was buried beneath fascination. The more we tried to understand her, the less human she became. The reflection. Maybe that's what this story really reveals. Not about Elisa Lam, but about us. Our collective mind can't stand uncertainty. We crave answers, even when the answers hurt. And when they don't exist, we invent them. We summon demons from depression, curses from coincidence, and horror from heartbreak. Because it's easier to believe in monsters than in the fragility of the human mind. Elisa Lam's tragedy became a mirror, and when the world looked into it, we didn't just see her. We saw ourselves, frightened, curious, desperate for meaning in a world that often gives us none. That's why her story endures. Not because it's unsolved, but because it reflects something we all carry inside. The fear of losing control, of reality slipping through our fingers. The aftermath, the Cecil Hotel, was eventually rebranded, renamed, and closed for renovations. But no new name could erase its shadow. The water tanks were drained and sealed, but the memory of what they held remained, heavy and unspoken. Visitors still gather outside, taking photos, whispering about the girl who never left. Documentaries continue to be made. New theories surface every year. But every answer leads back to the same elevator, the same footage of a girl pressing buttons, staring into nothing, trapped between floors and between worlds. Closing reflection. Maybe Elisa Lam was a victim of her own mind. Or maybe she became part of something darker, a story larger than life. One truth remains. The girl in the elevator will never leave. She will keep pressing buttons in our nightmares forever. End of chapter 6. The haunting truth. You can turn off the video, but she's still there, watching, waiting. The girl in the elevator never leaves.